Hello? Hello? Alrighty. Just about done setting up on my side. Yeah, I got distracted watching Ty. But I have made forward progress on the... almost called it piston, but it's not a piston. Oh, my wife is laughing in the background. Kind of scary. Oh. Yeah, I hope y'all are doing well today. Hey, Gideon here. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Alright. Change to this one. And there we go. Alright, for a moment there, I was a little concerned that I had forgotten to take the lens cap off. Nope, I did. So, there have been prints. Yay for iterative design. I guess I'll sit down and go through, like, what all I printed. I did have to change a few things. This and this was the first thing I printed. Turns out that I've screwed up the measurement for the D. So the D hole is too small. This fucking clapped out motor does not fit. Like, this doesn't fit. And then the nut. Now, when I did the threads, I didn't change any of the geometry. And turns out it uses the exact same geometry for both sides. It doesn't account for any tolerances whatsoever. Needless to say, that doesn't exactly make for a working thread. So, knowing that I had an issue on this side, the threads, and the nut, next thing I printed, after I went in and resized, and I'll show how I resized it. When I printed this. Now, I completely borked this one up. Apparently, instead of making the threads larger, I made them smaller. Oopsies. That's what happens when you forget a minus. So that was completely borked. But I did get the ND D for the shaft to go into. It fits nicely now. So with that that geometry redone, I printed another one. This time I needed to focus on the threads. And as you can see, I got this one. Hey Michael, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Right now I'm just doing a quick recap. So yeah, what I did was I went into the geometry, and I'll show this when I pull up Fusion. I basically made the threads more narrow, and I did the same on this one by 0.25 on both. I also changed the valley and expanded that by 0.2. And now, last day in SQL class. Congratulations, Cogs. Yeah, I managed to get these to thread in, and they thread in quite nicely. But that is very sloppy. Not just X, Y, but also in Z, so it kind of wiggles up and down. Hey, Talarine, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. And knowing that this was completely... Oh, what am I drinking today? That's right. Earl Grey. Thank you for the hydrate. Probably. I don't know. Today's not too terrible. I actually lost track of time. But yeah, because of all this wiggle, I knew I could tighten the tolerances a bit. So I thought maybe if I just use this with the original screw, which was too big, it would work. And it does. I don't know how much you can hear on this, but there's a grinding to it. And no, maybe if I talk over it. But yeah. It also just takes a crap ton of force. More force than I want. So, I knew that I was going to have to change the geometry on both sides. So this was the next version I printed. This time, instead of 0.25 on all the dimensions, it's 0.15. I set this down. See, there's a little bit of wiggle. But compared to this one's wiggle, pretty obvious which one is a better fit. And this one also has lateral movement or backlash. This one has not really any. So that's how I managed to get all of the thread logic done. And once I pull up Fusion, you'll see it. Greetings from the from Scenic Redacted. Yeah. Crunchy. Yeah, very crunchy. That's good, Tallarine. How is the apartment living? I hope you're enjoying the new place. Hey, Cynic, welcome in. Just doing a quick recap on me fiddling with threads and my test prints. But that led to this. And actually, this nut is still perfectly good. You can see the thread's on nicely. There's a good bit of side to side, but as this is going to be sitting in an assembly, I'm not too worried about the side to side. But the forward and back, minimal. I actually don't have any silicone or silicone PTFE grease. It's in my Amazon cart, to be perfectly honest. But no, currently everything is just perfectly dry. Yeah. Not quite machinist fit. And if I went in and I changed the valleys, I could probably get some of this slop out. I'm not that stressed about it, considering that what's going to happen is this is going to spin, and that nut is going to just kind of glide inside the assembly. So I guess I can actually reveal 5-string streak. Oh, I actually don't know how to pronounce that. I only know how to count to 3. But yeah, you can see that the nut is slowly sliding. Oh. But yeah, once I put some PTFE grease on it later, that should smooth up. 5 consecutive streams. Yeah, I don't know how any of y'all manage stream streaks with me. How these need to stay together. So let's pull up Fusion. Actually, what do y'all want to see first? Should I start off with some soldering, or should I start off with some Fusion? Because I still have more of these motors to salvage. My schedule is reasonably consistent. Yeah. I mean, the only days I actively try to be consistent on are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You have 2 hands. Do both, one for each hand. Could I? Maybe. But I don't have enough threads. What? What, Wolf? What's wrong? What? Am I causing you some imagery here or something? What? Oh god, those threads are so crunchy on that side. Oh yeah, I still have a bunch of these motors I still need to salvage. So I can do the soldering to start salvaging more. Like this one, I can tell that the gearbox is just shot. Put this way. Slide that in. I hold this motor in place. Yeah, I think this gearbox might be shot. Because that's all of this silver axle wiggling around. Yeah, this is not a 3-axis. It's a free axis. So I do know that these these gearboxes can be removed and replaced. Still trying to figure out free CAD. I wish I could help you on free CAD, but I got nothing for that one. Alright. I guess while we're deciding if I should solder or do fusion, I can at least talk about some of the revisions I made on the things with the stuff. I need to press this button. Alright. I also tweaked a few other things. Let me just go back. Alright. So this first one... Nope, that's the nut. Bodies, hide body 1, show body 2. Set it up to the left. So that's the nut geometry. If I go back and forth on this one, you'll see actually this edge that's changing. And what I'm doing on that one is I'm just spreading out the root of the thread. That way I don't have to reduce the outer edge. And if there's any layer lines or anything like that along the absolute outside edge, it will still have clearance to screw in and out. The next one is the actual threads themselves. So this surface, and this surface. So if I kind of bounce back between this and here, you'll saw that they went down. And they went down by, in the final version, negative 0.15. Literally just making it just a little more narrow and a little shorter for the nut itself. And by making them a little bit more narrow, I now have more room for the thread itself to fit into. Now the next ones are for the screw itself. Because, as I said, with this one, always be sure to mark your old prints. I originally tried to just adjust the nut, and that's when I got this super crunchy. Nope, not this one. This one. And I got this like super crunchy nut and screw. Like it goes in, but I'm gonna need a lot of lube to make this feel decent. That's what she said. Yeah, it just doesn't feel great. And that's when I decided to kind of split the difference between the nut and the screw itself. So what I ended up doing, going to be this surface, that surface, and that surface. So literally just the threads themselves. I did not mess with the root this time. I kind of jump between these two. You'll see that I just made them a little bit more narrow. And then splitting the difference between the two gave me this beautiful nut and screw motion. I mean, I could do this all day. This is just fun to play with. I'm sorry, the jokes just kind of write themselves. I don't know what to do about it. Oh, sorry. It's actually fun to play with. Puns aside, it actually is. Whee! Alright. So those are the changes I made to the nut and the thread. And at this point, we can hide those. And the other adjustments I was making, oh no, this side, or to this itself. All right, show body 1. Some of the first issues I noticed was over here. This huge gap. That's going to cause the thread itself to wiggle in the box. So I just kind of did some freeforming just to make that go away. Then I adjusted some of the other side. So now the threads are supported on both sides. And the flared base, for lack of a better term, even though it's not really flared. So I could probably make that gap a bit bigger. I don't know how well that's going to print. How am I going to compensate for inconsistencies? So the end goal is that the nut itself... Actually, hold on. I have something for that. Oop. So what's going to happen, hopefully, is the nut itself is going to have a magnet, and there'll be 2 Hall sensors on the body. So when the nut gets almost to maxed, I keep doing this like it helped, but it probably doesn't. When the nut itself gets to almost full position, it triggers the Hall sensor. And that's kind of like the general idea. So the length does vary, not on this one, no. Actually, this one's going to be it's going to be a more or less set size of just about that. The nut is going to travel up and down, and it is going to act upon the world with this little open channel. Now, I kind of think I should widen that gap. I'm not 100% sure. Now, there is one thing I want to check. We're going to do here. We're going to do an inspect. Start on this one. And that was my concern right there. See here that there is a gap. And that is exactly what I want to see. So I'm going to grab the inspect tool. I'm going to measure from here to here. 0.5 millimeter. I think that's good. That should be enough of a gnat's ass for it to fit in nicely. Little a, little a b. So an end stop typically cuts power to the motor completely. These won't be cutting power to the motor. They're more just going to report back to a microcontroller saying, hey, you're at full position. And then the microcontroller will have to do the logic to actually cut the power to the motor. So, yes to both, for lack of a better term. Wait, really? I've always had them set up to where they actually cut power. But no, now that you mention it, you're right. End stops on 3D printers do often go into report back to the MCU. But those are also stepper motors, whereas this is just a standard brushed DC motor. Term end stop just means some sort of element to recognize the end of some axis. Okay. Then yeah, I guess I'm using them as end stops. Now, if I swapped out the brushed DC, then I would have some positional data for like where in between. Why no one implement start goes? What do you mean by start goes, Wolf? Why not mechanical switch? Need to know before it touches. Because Hall sensors are a smaller package. End stops are not start goes. The king of comedy. That one flew right over my head, Wolf. I actually feel a little foolish for that one. But yeah, the only reason why I was going to go with Hall sensors, size. Because it takes nothing to have a motor, or I'm sorry, a magnet onto the side of the here. And then more or less, spin this around. I can actually like make a cutout channel on the back of this and then just encapsulate the whole thing in hot glue. And then there's nothing in here that can break. Fancy 3D printers do that. I think that's a little outside of my pay scale, Tallarine. Maybe after I go to college to be an engineer. Currently, though, I don't know if I'm smart enough to do all of that. Shoot for the moon? No, thank you. Well, I don't know. There is some entertainment entertainment value in watching me fail miserably. But yeah, Tallarine, get back to the original question. That's why I went with the Hall sensors instead of switches. Because if I do switches, I'm going to have the switches internal. And they'd be a bit more of a pain in the ass to repair if they break. Because although I'm making this for this first project, I mean, it's a linear actuator. How much stuff around your house uses linear actuators? They're just useful tools. And considering that I don't want to spend the prices people want for linear actuators, I might as well. That, and once I start throwing in silicone grease in here, I don't know what that's going to do with switches. And I don't want to find out. Yeah. But we have a gap. I think it's time to print this lower assembly. So I'm going to come in here to analysis, hide that. We're going to hide There's just something about a 3D designed part that just looks awesome. Okay. So we're going to file. We're going to export this. This is going to be bounce on it, dio. I need a funny term. Any funny ideas, chat? Soon every light switch gets pressed using 3D printed linear actuators, because when you have a hammer linear actuator, everything becomes... Fair enough. Start, go. Start, go it is. Start, go it is. Bounce on it, dio. Start, go. Export. Right in Sonic. Oh, a Giga emote. The open bamboo. I can hide that. I don't know. But I mean, it's Pregnant Sonic. Or, sorry. That's not Sonic. Iron Man. Not Iron Man. Mega Man. Wow. It's even there in the name. I'm having a senior moment. Hey, Shaq Man. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Okay. So, prepare. Oop. Oh. Oop. Oop. So y'all can actually see what I'm doing right now. Slide this over. I need to minimize that. And that. Let's see. Bounce on it, nut 4. Bounce on it, screw 4. Oh, I'm a numb nut. So when I exported that, I didn't export it as a step. Step. Bounce on it, dio. Start, go. Enter. Got the blood work done. Have another 2 weeks, or have another in 2 weeks. Yeah, blood work. Like, I don't mind needles. When I was younger, I had an issue that required me to have a lot of blood work drawn pretty regularly. And, yeah, it sucks. It sucks ass. Now, I am going to do one little trick. I'm going to rotate this 45 degrees. I have found that when I do square boxes and I rotate it 45 degrees, the edges come out cleaner. Because what happens is... Hey, Mentat. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today, I am fighting with stuff. But yeah, I have found that when I angle it at like a 45 degree, instead of the motor going, or the head going along, pausing for just a brief moment and then going down, one motor is constantly moving in a direction. So instead of getting this weird blob at the corner, it smoothly flows up, and then this motor continues to drive that way while this one changes direction. And I found that the blob at the corner, and I'm so zoomed out y'all can't see what I'm doing, that draw that again. Yeah, this motor is moving this way while this motor moves this way. Then this motor switches direction, but this motor never stops moving. So instead of getting a blob here, it tends to be a more smooth corner. I don't know if that's just my experience with printers, but I don't know. That's why I'm angling it at a jaunty angle. Needs to sit virtual at a 45-degree angle. Yeah, close enough. Hey, Dragon. I just want to say that I thought it was absolutely hysterical. Shumimi's reaction to your name being LM Dragon and not I'm Dragon. All right. 56 minutes and 43 seconds. Yeah, that sounds about right. And while this is printing, I will be doing some soldering. Because that seems like a vertical at 45-degree angle. Oh. All right, Sharkman. When you say the print needs to sit vertical at a 45-degree angle. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm missing things. Vasovagal syncope. I actually don't know what vasovagal syncope is. Well, that print flat is good. Okay. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Like, yeah. Dude, what else am I missing? I mean, she's a very certain version of a troll, a New Yorkian troll. Yeah, that's true, Tallarine. All right, sorry. I need to hit send so this actually starts to print. Then I'm going to rescale this so that we can keep an eye on it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Control Z. Slide that over. Slide that over. Up. And down. Pop that up in the top corner. Medical name, you can pass out under high stress. Oof. Oof. That's rough. Oh, yeah. Now that one I've known people who just can't handle the sight of blood. And again, there also comes a point where even otherwise healthy adults can't handle the sight of blood. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to run a 2-minute ad. That way we don't have to deal with ads for quite a while. I'm also going to go pee before I set this up. I had a bunch of ramen, so yeah, I just got to pee. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Do what happens. Hold on, sorry, let me read this first. Do what happens, your body drops blood pressure and it dozed. Yeah, the person does a restart. The button. Shit, things are hidden from me. There we go. All right, I'm going to set this up, run and pee. I'll be right back. Give me just a minute, chat. Sorry for all of you non-ad watchers. Just give me a minute. Alright, sorry about that. Holy hell. That actually took me... Sorry, I got stuck in a conversation with my wife as well. Put my headset in. But I actually have a... Oh. Huh. Congratulations, Shackman, on 5 streams. Sorry, I had like 3 thoughts go through my head all at once. Use code BUGS at checkout for your gamer subs. Oh yeah, Salary. My ADHD is fucking pinging off the walls. I am not medicated today. And it kind of shows. Alright. Need to plug this up. But yeah, my story. Whoops, wrong button. So, again, I did aircraft maintenance. I had a buddy. We were working on the jet. Nothing special. But he whacked the crap out of his head on the wing. And now some wings are sharper than others, but if you whack your head hard enough, you're gonna split your head open. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Now, this poor man whacked his head, and he's like, obviously, ouch. And he started to get lightheaded. So we're on the radio. We're calling in for an EMT to come check him out, because it's obvious he's going to need stitches. And we lay him down, put him in the... All right, so when a person goes into shock, you have to lay them out, prop their legs up, and if possible, cross their arms over their chest, basically. So dude's laid out on the ground. Another dude's on the top with shop wipes. Those blue rolls of shop wipes pressed against the top of his head to try and, you know, stop the flow of blood. And he's just sitting there just yapping and yapping and yapping. No biggie. EMT shows up and they get him on the gurney and he's still just sitting there yapping. And then it happens. The shop rags we were using against the top of his head just soaked in blood. He took one look at that and immediate reset. He just passed out cold. Like he didn't realize how bad it was until he realized, or until he saw how much blood there was. So it is possible for a perfectly healthy person, sorry, stuff, pass out from blood. Not just blood loss, but just seeing blood. Yeah. Dude needed something like 9 staples, 12 staples on the top of his head. Yeah. Fun times. Now, where are the motors? There's the motors. Go ahead and get this ready. I am going to set up camera angle again because I thought that was neat from the other day. Let's see. Isopropyl. Water. Wet me sponge. I have yet again changed where things are laid out. So now my iron is off in Timbuktu, and I don't think I like that. Yeah, I like having my iron about there. And my liquid flux. All right. So we're going to go to main screen. Now I have not had these two things pulled up at the same time. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like that, where that is over the microscope. Tighten this down. I don't think y'all need to look at the screws. Pull this out just a little bit farther. There we go. Play with the focus. Right about there, and you can see their ultra crappy solder joint. Alrighty. I think I mentioned this before, but whoever was scolding me for forgetting about my tea and letting it steep for like 10-15 minutes, perfectly valid and justified for yelling at me. I've been paying more and more attention to it, and yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm drinking Earl Grey, and it's just black tea with a hint of citrus. Like, that's it. It sounds fancy, it really isn't. And now that I'm letting it steep a proper amount of time, the citrus flavors, actually not even the flavors, the citrus in general, both scent and flavor, are more intense. So yeah. Good call on scolding me on that one. So first things first, we're going to remove these wires. Make sure my tip is nice and clean. Small dab of solder. Just act as a heat bridge. That wire removed. I can get thrown off to the side. I'm in here with the wire or the copper mesh, the solder wick. Small dab of flux. Hey, random, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Right now, we are waiting on 3D printer. That's in the top left. And I'm just salvaging a few more motors. The wire fell out. Apparently that was just a shitty solder job all around. Oh, I need my tweezers. But yeah, how are you doing, random? I'm just peachy. So my ADHD is hitting hard today for some reason. Actually, I say some reason. I know why. I'm not medicated today. Also why I was... Okay, no. Part of the reason why I started stream late is because I was watching Ty. The other reason is because I lost track of time watching Ty. Not too bad, just got off. I just got a call with my kid. They failed a MATLAB quiz and are bummed. MATLAB, I know that term. Why do I know that term? I can't remember now. But yeah, I've had that phone call as well. Hey. It's kind of a weird duality at times. You hate this new Common Core math? That's fair. Although, there is a song you should look up, Shackman, by Tom Lear called New Math. So, now don't get me wrong, I dislike the Common Core math as well. But when Common Core math first came out, people were talking about how, oh, how is anybody going to be able to do higher level math with this? How is anybody going to be able to do any of that stuff? But this is an old thing. So back in the 1960s, math, the way we taught math changed from a weird old method that I don't understand to the math I learned. 1960s, somewhere in that ballpark. So the math that we learned in American schools, that started in the 1960s. But Tom Lear, being, you know, a fucking mathematician, wrote a song about it. And it's funny because if you follow through, yeah, it literally was called New Math. But if you follow along with the song, the new math, what was the line? New math, new math. It doesn't make a bit of less. That words are hard. It doesn't make a lick of sense. It's new math. Like, that's one reason why I kind of chuckle about all of the complaints about Common Core math, is because, yet again, history may not repeat, but it certainly rhymes. And Tom Lear's New Math song is a phenomenal example of that. Now, this is kind of a weird example as well, but also incredibly niche. I've said I was military. I moved around a lot. Matter of fact, for a while there, I was moving every year. So packing up, moving every year. And one of the nice things about Common Core math is that it was supposed to be, I don't know if they actually managed it or not, because I took my kids out of public school. But one of the things that was nice about it is that it was supposed to be a nationwide standard. This grade learns this material. This grade learns this material. So for people who move a lot, having that consistency in the education across the nation is actually a huge benefit. Again, no idea if it actually panned out that way. Make sure my iron is nice and clean. Small dab, just to build a heat bridge. And I do mean a small dab. Did I put flux on this? Guess I'm about to find out. I did. If you're a person that remembered their childhood, you probably remember that having calculus in high school was unheard of. Now calculus is taught in every class. Till this generation, Alpha, every generation has increased their IQ, so it seems to be working. Now we have to deal with brain rot screens. Yeah. Now, I find it interesting that you say brain rot screens, because I, for one, don't consider screens to be the issue. I mean, my generation grew up on television, for Christ's sake. What I consider to be important is what's on those screens. Hey, Baron, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. I am sitting here salvaging motors while we wait for a 3D printer to do its thing. Small dab of flux. teeny little dab of solder, just act as a heat bridge. That doesn't look appealing. Now, I've already done this once, but I think I can get a touch more. I love this song. Bellissimo. Not screens. What I really mean is addictive algorithmic short messages. Yes. I generally don't let my kids watch short form content. Then again, my kids are also weird because none of them have social media. Yeah, doom scrolling. I consider doom scrolling to be more destructive than playing video games. At least when you're playing a video game, you're experiencing a story. You're trying to solve a challenge. Right, so I can kind of get my finger or my tweezers on that. Clean me tip. Small dab of solder. Just act as a heat bridge. Lovely. These aren't going to come out nicely, are they? See that I'm going to be fighting with little clumps. Books and reading, you're a weirdo? Yeah. I've actually been rereading a book series I enjoyed. Look at that. See that little bastard? It wants to be in my foot, but I'm not going to let it. It's going to go straight into the trash. Can't see how interactive content would be better after you move on from Frogger or something clicky. So, Roblox. I don't let my kids play Roblox for very different reasons. But Roblox has a lot of fantastic and very interactive content. Content that doesn't, how best to put this? Let's break games down into categories. My generation grew up on Super Mario Brothers, a platformer. All you had to do was jump. That's it. That's not exactly a, like, riveting game content. And the story for Super Mario Brothers is honestly kind of laughable. Especially the final boss of the first Super Mario's. Oh, you mean you have to jump back and just cut the bridge? The fuck? I was stuck on that for like half an hour back in the 80s. And I'm still molding about it. Every other monster in the entire game, you jumped on or you threw something, or actually you didn't throw, yeah, you threw fireballs at. But not Bowser. You had to get past him and cut the bridge. What the fuck? Sorry. Tangent. But, Roblox is basically social media. Yeah, it is. Minecraft. Yes, Roblox, no. Very good point. Like, all of my kids have Minecraft, and we currently have a Hightail server that I hang out on and build stuff with my kids with. But yeah, anyway, where I was going with that. Older games were not the most heavy-handed, or not the most, not heavy-handed. They weren't the most deep games. There were a few outliers, don't get me wrong. By and large, though, a lot of them were based off of arcade games, which in some regards could almost be considered a modern roguelike, because you start the game, you run through, you die, and then you start over. Rather crappy roguelike at that. But as time has gone on, we've gotten things like Final Fantasy. We've gotten Spyro. We've gotten oh my god, Resident Evil. We've gotten all of these games that are cultural touchstones, just like books used to be. And sometimes books still are, but... So, I don't consider video games to be a completely brain rot activity. Then again, none of my kids have cookie clicker either, so... Not like all games are created equal on that front. So now I need to desolder this. At this point, I'm not desoldering so much as just cleaning up, and I did not clean my tip. Small dab, just to act as a heat bridge. I really do mean a small dab. Yep, clean. So that's both sides. No, I'm not going to bother cleaning those joints. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the topic. But yeah, I will never... Well, actually, that's not true. I would yell at my kids for playing Minecraft or Hytale, but only because it's bedtime. Alright, so this motor should spin. If not, that's spins that way. Check it both directions just to check the gearbox. And it does. Perfect. So that's one more good motor. How are we doing on the printer? It's about halfway. But yeah, what other games do y'all think are... Oh, Slay the Spire, actually. That's another good example of a game where you think while playing it. But yeah, what other games can y'all think of that require a modicum of thought while playing? I could probably sit here and name off quite a few of them. And I don't mean like Factorio or chess. Yeah. But I also want my kids to actually have a dating life, so I don't know about chess. It's a joke. It's a joke. Factorio is evil and amazing. Yes. D&D. Oh, D&D. Yes. Strategy, thought. So, speaking of D&D, there was a project a few years back, and it involved D&D as a therapy tool. Oh, sorry, cleaning my tip. Now, the idea of D&D as a therapy tool was that the patient, or the... Well, let's just be honest. The autistic child, because it was meant as a tool for teaching social interactions to those with autism in a manner that wasn't just mind-numbing and terrible. What was the name of it? Video stream. I can't find it. I used to... I don't remember the name of it now. But yeah. The way they did it, though, is it required the patient, the child, to put themselves in their character's position. And it allowed them to kind of explore topics and interactions that may or may not happen in life. It was a really neat concept. Catan, Mario Party is also a good one. To my knowledge, it actually did have quite a bit of success. And I remember watching one video on it, and the one thing that they were stressing the most was the ability for the child to put themselves in their character's shoes. Basically trying to teach them how, not empathy, because that's very much the wrong tone for what they were trying to say, but trying to get the child to view something from a perspective other than their own. Which honestly, that's something all children struggle with. Hell, some adults struggle to see things from other people's point of view. Alright, well, the wire just straight fell out. I think I was successful at desoldering that one. And it stayed more or less all joined. Dropped it again, son of a bitch. I would test the motor. Yeah, Shackman. Every motor I test. Again, these are salvaged motors. Oh my god, where'd you go? After applying all that heat. Oh, no, that wasn't even near enough heat. I mean, hell, you look, the body of the motor is not even damaged, and that motor is way too in. Pull it out a bit. Oh, I need to flip it over. But yeah, I'm really not applying that much heat. Thinking about it, your cat has TV and tablet time. I've seen some of those apps for cats. I know some cats enjoy them, other cats couldn't give a damn about it. So. And my iron is also sitting at 550 degrees Fahrenheit. So about 200 degrees over the melt point for solder. That's weird. Normally the joints don't come off that cleanly. Although you can see here, with how that wire was pressed up, it is a little melted right here. Got who's stuck to my... Cat loves the fake fish on screen. Yeah. But you can kind of see just right there a little bit of melty. But no, this motor is very much likely just fine. But we test it. is actually right. Yeah, it is. Hey, Surly. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We are just doing a little bit of soldering while waiting on the 3D printer. And, of course, yapping. And listening to 2010 South Korean songs. And the motor is spinning. One direction. We're going to flip it over and test the other direction. More as a test of the gearbox. And it spins just fine. What's the blue rectangle? Oh, that's my microscope. So, another good motor. Not where that motor needs to go. Thank you, Shackman. I will be sure to check out that video later. Damn it, I forgot to go look through the music again. I promise I will do that today. Oh, no rush. Okay. Highest counter is actually going down. Yep, I actually just went and looked at that. And, if memory serves, Ty has it set up to where raids increase her timer. So we will be raiding into Ty, but I want to wait till about, like, 45 minutes. Yep. I'll have a solder. Uh-oh. Tip's gotten dirty. There we go. We're going to flood it. Wipe that off while the flux is still smoking. Do that one more time. Wipe that off. There we go. Nice clean tip. Small dab, just act as a heat bridge. 1 and 2. Remove the old crappy wire that they soldered on. Because, yeah, what happened was, these are salvaged motors. So somebody went through, just cut the wires from whatever machine they were attached to, and then just kind of crappily soldered on these little leads. And it just makes a really shitty joint. Now, if you're not planning on having the motor move or do anything, it's more than fine. Like, it's good enough for it for a quick test of the motor to say, yeah, it works. But that's about it. Dip solder. I'm not even sure if these were dip soldered, because this black panel is very meltable. I've had a few where it gets kind of melted, but they definitely did something silly to it. Hey, Linted. Welcome in. Now let's flip this over. So yeah, right now we're just going through and basically cleaning up other people's half-ass work. SGTM. Sorry, Baron. I don't know the reference. Oh, this has already had solder wicked up it. All right. I guess we're going to fight with it. Fine. I did not get all the solder that time. Oh, sounds good to me. Ah, that makes sense. Wow, I had a lucky moment. Not understanding an internet slang. Open that nice and wide. Small dab of flux. Let's try this again. Because you can even see on the microscope that I did not get all of the solder. Got a bit more that time. You know, we'll go this way then. Come on. Don't be an ass. There we go. Big open source community shorthand along with LGTM for merging. Ah. Alright. So that's another motor done. As always, we will test this one. And if anybody has any questions about soldering, feel free to ask. Or like how to do a joint. I have everything set up, and honestly, this is about as simple of a soldering as it gets what I'm doing at the moment. Motor spinny spins. It was 30 motors in total, and I have less than 10 left. The motor keeps jumping in. There we go. But considering the time for turbo mode, add some amps. No, thank you. But yeah, these are all the motors I have left. So 2, 4, 7. So yeah, about 2/3 the way through. Far. How are we doing on the printer? Oh, we still got a little bit of time left on the printer. But yeah, I generally just find soldering relaxing. It very much is a zen task for me. That also means I have a lot of... I don't want to say... I have a lot of available brain left to talk about stuff as well. I melted that a little bit. That's fine. Okay, this one's actually going to be a pain in the ass. The asshole middleman who just tacked on the extra little wire, they were at least nice enough to do a half-ass job. But the original manufacturer who did some of these, some of them knew what they were doing, and those are kind of a pain in the ass to desolder. Some people had no idea what they were doing, and that's an even bigger pain in the ass to desolder. It really is a mixed bag. Because what happened was, somewhere in China, they were salvaging equipment and just cutting parts out of it. And these motors was one of the things they cut out. And rather than just, you know, scrapping them, they resold them. Considering 2 of these motors usually go for about 12 bucks, getting 10 for 12 bucks is kind of a good deal. In here. Grab. Keep the eye lit. Oh, you're gonna be a little asshole. One. Got it. Wait, girl math. What? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Yay! Yeah. Like, I really don't fault them for salvaging. Oh, that feels so good on my back. Oh, I'm an idiot. I forgot to raise my desk up for soldering. So I've actually been over here hunched over. Oh, I need to reposition my mic. Here we go. Dumb Bezos. Yeah. The only nice thing I will say about ad breaks is that it reminds me to stretch my back. It reminds me to, you know, relax my eyes. Reminds me to hydrate. Ah. Self-care? Gross. Yeah, that's icky. I'm a man in my mid-40s. You think I'm going to admit to taking a hot bath with a good book? Actually, yeah, I recommend that. It's a good way to spend an afternoon, especially when your back starts hurting. Oh, man. Oh. There we go. We're back. Did everybody remember to stretch? Did everyone remember to get something to drink? Good. But yeah. Nope. Should check, man. At the very least, look somewhere other than the screen for 20 seconds. Preferably something at least 20 meters away. So, now that I have my desk raised up properly, shift that around a little bit. Oh, so much nicer. Hate when I forget to raise my desk up. Because right now I'm sitting very upright. Come on. Come on, you little goofy bastard. Almost got all of it. Check another tab. Not as good, but I guess you did at least have to focus on something. Alright, so there's very little solder on my iron at the moment. And you can see that's what's causing me to have to sit and hold the iron to it for a little longer. No. Matter of fact, I was a little confused what you meant by girl math. Can see that I melted this. That's why I don't think that these were dip soldered. Let go. There it is. Yeah, because if they were dip soldered, all of this would be toast. Now, what was I just doing? ADHD go burr. I think we've got both sides done. Yep, they're not clean, but they're good enough. How would you dip solder that without wrecking the plastic bottom? Exactly, Linted. That's why I don't think they were dip tip soldered. They definitely did some half-ass method of soldering, though. When I pull up the next motor, you'll see what I mean. Then again, if anyone's been watching for a while, you know that I've actually been desoldering these for quite a while. Because they're just too much of a bargain not to get. That motor spins nice and strong. Like it actually jerks a little bit. Okay. Fourth motor, 3D printer's almost done. They should have whole-assed it. No, thank you. Sometimes a proper solder joint is a bigger pain in the ass to desolder than a half-assed. And again, sometimes a half-assed joint is even worse, so at least a good solder joint would be consistent. This is without a heat bridge. And you see it eventually melts. But it kind of takes a moment. That's one reason why I like to use a bit of solder at the very beginning. It just speeds the process up a little bit. Oh, do stream where you take them apart, rewind them, and measure the new torque and see if you can get more torque or more speed. So I actually did look at these, but because of how they're crimped, I don't know how I would uncrimp them without just completely destroying them. I don't know. I've never rewound a motor, to be perfectly honest. It might be something I'll do later. That's one of those things where I don't really have a need. Small dab of solder. That sounds terrifying. It is one of those tasks where I've seen it done, both on YouTube and in real life, and it can be an ordeal. All right, this one's not gonna be a good little joint and let go of the wire, so we'll just have to heat it up a little bit. Get all of that out. Nope. 3D printer beat me. I just heard it chime that it's done. So once this one's done, we will grab that off the printer and see what we need to do. Teeny tiny wire winding. Yeah, honestly, most people have a machine to do it. They don't wrap it by hand. So honestly, no, I'm not gonna ask chat because y'all would tell me to hand wrap a wire or a motor for us. And although I am 99.9% sure that I could 3D print, hand wrap a functional motor, but by God, why? Yeah, no jig, let's go. Masochist. Happier, I want you to be. Sorry. Are you gonna let go nicely? You are. Oh, thank you. Missing one wire. Here, you little bastard. Yep. That little bastard tried to find its way into my foot. You can't tell I have a little bit of a trauma about wire clippings and stepping on them. I'm doing all the work. What's the problem? Fair enough. I mean, if y'all would think that's entertaining, I mean, more power to ya. I agree to disagree on what entertainment is at that point, though. Because it would literally take me hours to sit here and hand wrap a motor by hand. LOL, but you need hippo. Oh, God. Right. Motor goes spinny spin. I'm actually a little impressed. My first batch of these motors, 2 of the 10 were just toast on arrival. But so far, I am having a 100% success rate. Now, some motors like this one, the shaft is all wibbly wobbly. I really hope the mic didn't pick up that burp. Alright, but that's one more motor done and salvaged. The 3D printer is done. The bed should have cooled off just a touch. So, what we can do, hide that microscope. Slide that up and out the way. Oh, before I do anything, I need to clean my sponge. We're going to clean and tin the tip. So flood it. Wipe it off. That, and now I'm going to shut the iron off after I bump everything on my desk. There we go. Let me go grab that off the printer. Oh, I tried to get up with my earbuds still in. That wasn't going to work. I probably should have let the bed cool down a bit more, but... Alright, so... this should just slide in nice and neatly with... Well, shit, that's not what I expected. It is a touch on the snug side, but I also just have it pressed in on one side. The lid would let it float a little bit more. There is a little bit of grinding, but I think that's more to do with the elephant foot from where I printed it here. Should. Yeah, famous last words, I know. Yeah, but think of the gamba. Does it work after you take it apart? That's actually a good question. That actually is a good question, Random. Can I take it apart and get it working? Yeah, actually, this feels fantastic. So let me grab a motor. A different motor, one that actually has terminal leads on it. Bloop. Grab a motor from the Hippo project. So This is the orientation that this was printed in, laying down. Let me unthread this nut. Oh yeah, come on, screw faster, screw faster. Oh, got the nut off. Oh yeah. This one printed upright, like that. And then this one printed just laying down like that. What, linted? But yeah, this is the orientation everything was printed in. But yeah. It is a little snug. A little more snug than I was expecting. There's a little bit of elephant footing right here. Nothing too terrible, though. But there are ways to curb that. Alright, so get this nut back on. Uh-oh. Alright, the nut definitely has an orientation it likes more than the other. Slide that in. This fits in here like this. So now when I plug this in, come on. There is a bit of binding, but nothing too terrible. Now, a lot of that binding is because I don't have the top portion on. But that looks like a linear actuator. Lapping compound on the... Yeah, that would be another way of doing it. Now, I can also reduce the amount of lapping required through a few changes in the design of this base plate. Is it strong? Oh, shit, yeah. I was actually having to sit here and fight it. Spin this to about the middle. Line this up, slide that in. It's binding up. I'm having some trouble, but popped out. Yeah, I would call it pretty damn strong. Right now I'm having to do more fighting holding it in place, but all right, so what we're gonna do, the normie way to say no. Well, a certain amount of lapping is going to have to happen. Okay, so the way we're going to do some of this, we will start on this end. We are going to make this full body visible. We are going to do an analysis. Starting here. I actually already see one issue. So we're not going to do this. Control Z. We're going to hide this body. This edge here, we are going to fill it. I don't know. 1 millimeter. Roll around to this side. We're going to do it over here as well. Fill it. 1. Done. This is going to need the microscope actually. Here. Oh, son of a... One moment. Let me fiddle fuck with the focus. Right about there. But you can see right there, kind of bulbous. So by rounding this edge, that should reduce that. Quote unquote should. And if we can smooth that out, that's going to get rid of some of the friction. Now over here, it's going to be more of the same. Now I'm also noticing here where things are interacting. This is wanting to actually like climb up and over. I'm curious if having the top panel on will prevent that entirely or not. But I think I'm going to push this wall back just a touch. And then make this just a little bit bigger. So go back to here. Rounded that edge. Now, since I want to change this, we're going to actually adjust the sketch. Not that sketch. Not that one. This one. And this sketch. We'll change this to 7. And then when we hit finish sketch, it's going to run through, do all of its little math. And now this is just a little bit bigger on both sides of the lid. And that's all it took from me. So I'm going to grab this edge and I'm going to push it back. So that would be negative. Let's do 0.2. Highlights red because it's going to be a cut. And that should get rid of some of that as well. Spin this around. We're going to go back before I rolled the edge. And we're going to push this one negative 0.2. And then we're going to go back. Uh-oh. Did not like that. Okay, we're just gonna delete that. Rather than do that. Which one was it? I am attempting to find which one. I'm looking at this edge here. And when that edge moves, I'll know I'll have found the right one. I believe it's this one here. Nope. that one. So we're going to modify this one. At just a 1. Now when I go back, I do have to modify that still. This one is going to go back to 7. No, not 7. 6, 7? There we go, it's a 6. Now when we put the screw in, that gap is a little thicker. Let's round this edge again. What did I say? 1? 1. Yep. And then I'm going to round this edge as well. And that should take care of a number of the issues I'm having. And of course, because it's threads, I can't just squeeze and I can't backdrive the motor at all. Although I am seeing one other thing I wasn't expecting. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. Actually, it will show up here. So there's a sizable gap on this side of the wall, the nut. But this side is almost perfectly flush. And again, this nut wiggles back and forth a fair amount. If I press, that gap goes to almost nothing. And this gap becomes measurable. So I think that's actually fine. Yeah. Okay. So now let's do this. We're going to make this one visible. And now we're to the point where I'm just going to start doing some push-pull stuff just to get things to line up. So see that this and this are not the same. I'm going to grab that. Actually, no, I'm going to start with this larger edge. Press pull. Look at it from this angle. No. That is lined up just fine. Just this. Press pull. At this point, we're more into sculpting than designing. And there's a handful of ways to do all of these tricks. We could also use the... Can't see what I'm doing. One moment. All right, we're going to use the section analysis tool. Click one edge. I'm going to drag so we can actually see what the hell we're doing. So now we can grab this edge, press pull. We're gonna, whoops. So I don't know if it's all CAD softwares, but Fusion at least, the more you're zoomed in, the smaller the increments get. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to let me do that. May have to manually touch things. That's 3.5 and that's too far. We'll do 2. Four. Get to where I can see what I'm doing. Seven. That didn't work. Try that again. Oh, it keeps changing. That's why. Yeah, it's all the way out, and then once I start to pull, it changed. All right, we are going to do this another way then. Since Fusion 360 wants to fight me, we're going to use the Inspect tool. We're going to measure from here to here, and it's telling me 6.7 millimeter. So I'm going to measure from here to here, and it's saying 2.3, so that's 3.75. So then I hide body 3, and I extrude this edge 3.75. Enter. And now when I bring this body back, they're lined up. Thank you. There was no need to be so damn difficult. I'm going to fillet this edge 1. That's going to give us our nice, beautiful edge. And that should be all of the geometry for this side done. So then we come over here, readjust that, hide that. We're going to do another analysis from this side. Oop. All right. And quick inspection measurement from here to here. 5.1. Press pull. Or I'm sorry, I'm actually going to extrude. 5.1. Enter. And I did an oopsie daisy right there. I accidentally just joined these two parts into one. Control Z. Press pull. 5.1. Press pull does not join them, but extruding does. All right, so now we're going to round this edge. 1, enter. Do another quick measurement, inspection from this edge to this edge to this edge. 5. So we're going to click this, press pull, click the edge. -5. That lines those up. Another measurement from this edge to this edge. 4.6. Press pull. 4.6. Through. My mouse or my keyboard. Way the fuck off in no fucking Narnia. And it's kind of pain in the ass because I'm having to stretch and reach. Let my iron out the way. There we go. Now I can actually like reach my keyboard. So there's all that. Oh, I need to round this edge. That one is no, wrong thing. It's gonna be a 1 as well. And now when I hide that, we have our outer assembly. Now, I am going to be nice to myself. I'm going to chamfer all of these edges. Just makes them nicer to hold. I have a dumb question. Would this be more efficient as a cylinder? Yes, it would. But what we can do... Okay, yes and no. The way I'm printing it right now, it's easier to have it as a square. Would it be more space efficient as a cylinder? Yes. So, pros and cons. Yeah, so what I can do is I can grab the fillet, and I can do this. And that's as much as it's going to let me do it. And this also makes the whole damn thing just nicer to hold, if that makes any sense. Now, obviously, look okay. I'm going to hide this. Nope, not that side. This side. We get. Okay, but how would we get it out of the cylinder without damaging it? Depends. What are you referring to getting out of it? Yeah, round rectangles. So the inside edges here, though, they have to be square. I mean, I could probably add a little bit of a fillet, but by and large, a circle in a circle would not work. Because right now, the nut needs the edges to press against. So the inside dimensions, they could be like a hexagon. They could be octagonal, but they cannot be round as well. Because it needs something... Honestly, once I have the edge in here, then I could make it cylinder all the way around. Because then it's riding along this channel. Or a bat. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Like a circle with wings. Yes, that would also work. So if I changed the nut to be like a circle with bat wings, and then those wings are what rode up and down the channel, yeah, at that point, it would work just fine. But a cylinder turning inside of a cylinder would never work. All right, I'm done with the hand motions. Sorry. Oh, I need to hydrate. My throat's a little dry. Tea was ice cold. That was not pleasant. Like, I want some hot tea just to warm my mouth up. How did that get so damn cold? Ah. Be grateful I don't have tongue tracking. Scalding hot. Yes. Actually, oddly enough, yes, I can. I will be sure to let them know that that has been requested. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. Took care of that. Took care of that. Did we take care of that? No, I don't think we did. As a matter of fact, I think we made it worse. Well, I mean, it fits already, so it should be fine. And we're adding a gap here, so it'll work. Now, what else is there that needs to change? Nothing. I think Oh. Stupid ads. Crack my back. Drink some of my piping hot tea. That's a good point, Random. We'll get to that in just a moment. Have myself a little smoke here, but yeah. There's a few edges we should probably still round out and sort out. I wonder if we should go ahead and do a little bit more of an enclosure on the motor. I don't know. Tempted to, but I'm also tempted not to. Because if I added a bit more over on this end to hold the motor, it would hold it more securely. Sorry, I was deliberating on if I should go ahead and extend out. Change camera angles. Hide the scope, or the microscope. If I should extend this out to where it pinches the motor as well. Would it be more secure? Yes. But I don't know. Okay, maybe all of these motors are just wibbly wobbly like that. Okay. If that's the case, then I really should secure it here as well. Because if something starts putting pressure on this, it could throw the gears out of whack. And want to. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to roll back the clock. And that fillet. We're going to get some quick measurements. And we're going to extend this out. Maybe to about halfway. Maybe a centimeter. Maybe. Honestly, do I even need to do measurements for that? Well, I'm just going to go straight centimeter back. No, I don't. Do this. And then we will round those edges like Random suggested. Now I have the hiccups. That's awkward. I'm going to press pull. It's already at 2, so we will just go up to 3. Did that move? Oh, no, that's 3 millimeters. To 1 point. Life is hard when you're dumb. Or I'm sorry, life is hard. But it's even harder when you're dumb. There we go. Click OK. We're going to make body 4 visible as well. We're going to press pull this one. Apparently we're only going out 1 millimeter for that. Or 1 centimeter. There we go. And now when we redo that, it's nicely rounded. Because all we did was just change the order that we did stuff. Alright. Now, you set a fillet on this edge. Boop and boop. Not you. You. No, not here. The one in the cavity. Oh, this edge. Close. So A or B? Okay, so basically all of these. Inside the circle where the shaft sits. So other side. So this side, I mean, this one's already rounded. Unless you're talking about here. So the reason why I can't do there is because if I were to put a rounded edge there, it would start to interfere between the screw and the actual wall. See how those are already almost a perfect fit? So if I were to add a fillet there, I would then have to fillet this edge. No, it would take away room. Now, if I were to round this edge, that would do what you're thinking. But then I would have to reprint the screw again, and I don't want to print the screw again, because that's like an hour and a half of printing and a lot of plastic. That makes sense? Okay. So, by and large, I think that's everything. All right. Let's go ahead and extract these. Or, yeah, extract. So we're going to hide body 3. Export. Bounce on it, die O. Base. Start, go. Top. Make sure we are exporting it as a step file. Hit export. Give that a moment to finish its calculations and fancy math. All right, that's exported. Now let's do the bottom. So we're going to make that visible, make that invisible. To go. Export, export, bounce on it, dio, start, go, start, go, power, bottom, because it, you know, it pushes back on the motor, so it's a power bottom. Export that. And that export is done. Oh, of course. What else would it be called? Exactly, Baron. You get it. Oh. So we're going to go back to prepare. Oops. Go. Go. Oh, no. I have it shrunk down. Lock. So that y'all can see what I'm doing. Yes, Baron, that's what those are. So let me pull Fusion back up. If I grab this little slider here and I go back to a random point, we're literally just going back in time. So Yeah, we started off with the sketches. And here's the other cool thing. So for this fillet, I intentionally went back before the fillets to make my offset changes. And then I went forward, causing the fillets to be retroactively applied after. So I made the square bigger, and then I reapplied the fillet. And that's one of the neat things you can do with the time scale along the bottom. Like, if I grab this edge and I push or press pull, and I just press pull out. Okay, no, press pull does it. Control Z. It's extrude. I can just make this super long channel, and that may not have been what we wanted. All right, so apparently Fusion is actually smart enough to do press pull and then reapply it. But I know for some other functions it doesn't. But yeah. That's one of the neat... I can also, because of the way I've done this, I go all the way back to my very first sketch. I can make a change here. And then when I hit finish sketch, it would be retroactively applied through all of these changes. Not going to, though, because with my luck, I would break it. Always fill it last. Yes. Always fill it, always round, always do those actions last. Those are presentation more than function. Well, yeah. They're more presentation than function, but there are some things where they are part of the function. So, one example of that, not the nut, the screw. I have a fillet here, and this fillet is specifically for 3D printing, because you have the nozzle, and I just realized I had that thing right up in the middle of the whole damn screen, and y'all didn't see shit. That is my bad. I'm a terrible streamer. But yeah, this fillet is not for presentation. This is actual function. Because when you have the hot end pressing down against the bed, the plastic smooshes out a bit. So that fillet prevents it from making the hole too small on accident. But yeah, to kind of recap what I said, if I go all the way back to like this sketch, and let's say I change this to 1. Enter. Notice how everything changed. If I finish the sketch, we go all the way back to the future, and now it's friggin' tiny. If I Control Z, undo that, and finish sketch, it goes right back to the same size. Drag around on the timeline. Just double click. Yes, that's also an option. I can just come down here and double click. Unfortunately, when your timeline gets like 100 long, you don't exactly remember where everything is. All right, so we have exported the top and bottom, or I'm sorry, the top and power bottom. Have to catch the fish first before you fillet it. Yeah, that's also true. I like this band. Voila, Voila. It's an American and a Brit who met in college and started producing music. And I'm a genuine fan. I very much enjoy it. All right, so let's go back to Bamboo. We are done with this. So we can delete that. Drag this off to the side a little bit. Gotta minimize that. Bounce on it, start go, top. Line up the power bottom. bottom. All right, so let's move things around just a little bit. Actually, I can just hit arrange. We're also going to change how this one is laid out because I want them to print in this orientation. Now, one thing the printer does that I'm not a huge fan of, actually, the two tabs are the back, is they get super duper close to this line, and I'm just not a fan of that. Like both of these, we're going to reposition them just a bit more towards the center. I have better luck that way. Another thing we're going to do, spread them out just a touch. My PLA is starting to get a little damp. So by spreading them out a little bit, it does increase print time because the head has to move more. But it tends to string less, in my experience. And we're going to slice this plate, and this should be a 2-hour print, 1 hour 52 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and then we're going to continue desoldering. I don't think they're going to finish on stream, but how much time does Ty have left in her? 1 hour 41. Yeah, we can go for a bit longer, and then we will raid the lovely Ty and increase her timer because of the raid. And that entertains me greatly. When Ty hits the 1 hour mark, that's when I'm going to try and do the raid. Although that number keeps going up, isn't it? Ty may actually end up having to do a 24-hour stream, and the thought of that entertains me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit print. We're going to hit send. I have to run and make sure that I actually cleared off that plate before it starts to... Oh. Okay, crisis averted. I did clear the plate off completely. Ugh. Put my headphones back in so I can actually listen to my music. Have myself some tea while it's still warm. I almost need 2 bamboo windows, because having to rescale this every time is a little annoying. That, then do this. Drag that bad boy up to the corner. And there we go. Pull that back up. Pull Chatterino so I can actually like see what chat is saying. Apparently I'm supposed to like be interactive with all of you. No, I'm actually having a grand old time. I really do appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Is it this one? So, go here. Always be sure to mark your prints so you know what order you printed them in. Otherwise, you will forget, and you will mix things up. Oh, this one goes with this nut. Those off to the side. Now we've got 5 motors left. Not too bad. It'll take me but, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. By that point, it'll be time to raid into Ty. Grab my little vise. And I just realized that I have this bamboo scaled differently on the scene. And I want to fix that. Drag that up just a little bit, drag that down, drag that in just a little more. There we go. Now it's not taking up as much space. All I did was cut out a lot of the excess. Okay. I moved things and now I have to move things. All right, now I need to fix the focus. Why are you... There we go. Okay. Can I do that focus a little better? Oh, I can do the focus just a little bit. Aha. Okay. Grab my iron and turn the heat back on. That'll take just a minute. And we'll continue salvaging these motors. I get the cable untangled from my keyboard. Holy shit. Oh. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a fun time. Or at least mildly interested. Oh, iron is heating up. I've got solder, flux. Snip off this old piece. Iron's still warming up. But yeah, we'll just continue salvaging these motors before the raid. That way, I'm really interested in how Wolf set this whole thing up. Or Wolf's the one who built the timer that Pi is using. And the fact that it can actually increase the time based on raids, I think is a lot of fun. I think that's a really, really neat feature. All right, iron is hot. Let's go ahead and sit up in my chair. Pull some of this old solder off. Small dab. And I do mean a small dab. This just helps build a heat bridge. That when I come in here and touch, these pop right off because they were half-ass soldered on. Grab our copper mesh. Small dab of flux. And the only thing the flux does is as it boils off, it cleans any oils, corrosions, and gunk off of the copper, allowing the solder to flow more cleanly and flow farther. Okay. Nope, wires are too bent up, so we're gonna have to go through the back and get my grippy fingers in there and make sure I can get a hold of it. And come on. I see you're loose. You're not being held in by anything. There we go. It had a little flared base, so it wouldn't slide through the other way. Or go too deep in. I don't know. Yay for butt jokes. Loosen that up a little bit. Spin it around. And I keep bumping that. I bumped it and adjusted everything, and now nothing is lined up. Son of a bitch. There we go. At some point, I'll get good at doing this on stream. Until then, please bear with me. All dab. I think I can reuse this. I used the last of this. There wasn't much solder on the other joint. Try and find a relatively clean spot. Press down. Pull the copper. Maybe not. That is still soldered firmly in place. Go. Got that out. So that's one more motor salvaged. So let's go ahead and test it. Grab my little battery bank. I need to build more of these. I need to... Maybe not... It's not going to be a redesign. I need to update the design so that I can make them better. Because this is another little thing that I printed and designed myself. Because I wanted just a little battery pack. Alright. Is this motor fried? Uh-oh. Oh. This motor is in good condition, but the gearbox is crap. Alright. Try it the other way. It works fine in that direction. Yeah, this gearbox is crapped out. Alright, that's fine. The motor is still good at least. Grab my motor curve. A little X on it so that I know something is wrong with it. And add it to the pile. Because again, the motor was just fine. But that gearbox kept getting stuck. So something in the gear teeth has gone either loose or wonky. I don't know. Motor's still good, so screw it. If I ever need a little motor that spins at Mach Jesus, I'll have one. Alright. Give me tip. Solder the leads. Let's see. What can we talk about? I'm just an old retired guy. So I will be registering for classes here soon. Going to be just general ed stuff. That's going to be fun. So looking forward to going back to college in my mid-40s. Around a bunch of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds. I feel like I'm very quickly going to learn just how old I really am at that point. Hip sturdy. Did not clean my tip like I should. Do that now. There we go. Small dab for heat bridge. You'll be the class dad. Yeah. Considering my age and the age of my kids, all of that. Yeah. I mean, you figure my oldest is 18. So I will literally be as old as some of their parents. I may even be older than some of their parents. Because I wasn't old when I had my first, but I wasn't all that young either. Come on. Let go. Hey, Wacky. Don't mind me. I am fighting with wires not wanting to come loose. I think they're melted into the plastic. There we go. Got some of them. Absolutely tiny little piece. But yeah, hope you're doing well. I am struggle busing something fierce at the moment. Trying to get these last few motors finished up. I got my 3D printer running. That's going to be, or that's printing the outer case for my linear actuators I'm building. Also, I can build, actually, I haven't revealed what my next robot's going to do, have I? It's going to lay pipe. Yep, I'm going to lay pipe on Twitch TV. Well, I'm going to have a robot that lays pipe. And that makes me giggle. That's not what I wanted. Yep. I still need to sit down, design some of the pipes, and how that is going to interconnect. Is it really a pipe work if they don't, you know, slide into each other? No, I don't think so. This is going to be another one that's a pain in the ass. It looks almost like it's melted into the plastic. Yeah. All right. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this one out. Yeah, like it's straight up melted into the plastic. This motor may just be toast. Hold on. I don't know how well that's even showing up on camera. Is that the kind of thing you can outsource? How does the wife feel about that? Yeah, salvaged motors. So what happened is some machinery broke somewhere in China. They snipped these motors out, sold those either as probably as scrap metal to some third party. That third party tack welded these shitty leads on and then sold them. So these motors normally go for like 12 bucks for 2, and I bought 10 for 12 bucks. So this is just kind of some of the growing pains I have to do. I don't even know if y'all can see that. There is a, oh, fuck, where did they go? There's one. And I bumped my camera. Sorry. Shit. Come on. Yeah, there's one. Now, where did the other, like, half dozen go? Oh, hell. I'm going to find those with my foot later. Lovely. They should be on my workbench somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to clean this up so that I can show you all what the fuck just happened. But it looks like the motor's... Likely the motor itself is not toast. The terminal might be toast. Where are my brushes? That's a brush, but that's not the brush I was looking for. For my desk mat? Oh shit, where's my brush? Oh, there it is. Find. Acid brush. So it's just chemical resistant bristles that I've snipped down to about 1 centimeter. And that gives it a little bit more like, not scratchy, a little bit more scrubby power. And then to break up flux that is dried and cooked, the easiest way to do that is isopropyl. And we're just going to blend that. Then scrub, scrub, scrub. Then again, I might clean this up and realize that what I'm fretting over isn't that big of a deal. That's kind of what it's looking like. Oh yeah. I don't think it's going to permanently affect it. But what the original tech did, for some stupid reason, they had their wire. They ran it up through the eyelet. Come on. Up and through the eyelet. And then they used the iron with the solder. Come on. And pressed it down like this. And it melted into the plastic right here. You can actually see some of the plastic there on the terminal itself. So I don't think the motor is crap or crapped out. But that terminal is maybe crapped out. Although, I will say, if the motor is crapped out, that last motor, where the gearbox was crapped out, we can swap the motor and gearbox. And we'll have one motor that's complete crap, and one motor that works just fine. So, finding out that a motor is crap, not a terrible thing for me right now. This is the problem with just tossing leads. I tend to lose them. Oh, there it is. Fell on the floor. Oh, my back's starting to get stiff. Oh, I would. And then I'd hit it with 20 amps. You know. For the Twitch views. I mean, what can go wrong with a crap motor and a crap gearbox? These don't work. Ah, shit. It works just fine. Yeah. It spins just fine. Matter of fact, the gearbox and everything sounds really good as well. Uh-oh. Why did you stop spinning? Spin it back around. Oh. I bet my battery is dead. Or the terminal just fell the fuck out. Oh. do this one more time and then I'll stretch. Okay, yeah. The terminal leg fell out. Yeah, this motor works great. Like, surprisingly good. Alright, time to stretch, chat. Back, my back, my back. And hydrate. Cheers. Oh. Where's my keyboard? There's my keyboard. Oh. Yeah. Ah. My neck is getting stiff. I've been sitting here for a while. Stretch when you're young. Hey, Pearl, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. What were you working on today? I'm over here. I'm actually working on two separate projects at the moment. One, I'm salvaging these little, or I'm not salvaging, I'm reclaiming these salvaged motors. They got yoinked out of a machine. They tack welded on these shitty little terminals, and I'm just cleaning them up for my future projects. And when I say crappily soldered the leads on, I do mean crappily. The other thing I'm working on is this, a linear actuator, because linear actuators are cool and they do a lot of fun stuff, but I'm not going to spend linear actuator prices for the stuff I do. So I'm just designing one, 3D printing it, CAD design, like full on CAD design. Hide the top, nut, screw, the whole shebang. So yeah. Yeah, welcome in, raiders. Pearl, also, if you need to raid and run, go for it. Take care of yourself. Go get some water. Why can't I get my stupid microscope to line up and sit nicely? Huh. Let me try something. Because this is something I've been fighting with for a minute. Unlock that. That's actually kind of the limit. That's sad. We lock that. All right. Why are you not sitting nicely like you were just a little bit ago? Hey, no, seriously, like, what happened? Did I hit a button or something? Now I can't get it centered. And everything I'm doing is just making it worse. drop down. I'm not sure what I bumped, but I will need to figure that out. Oh, I think I see what I did. There we go. Oh no, that needs to go just a little lower. My soft jaws are in the way. I'm just kind of like sliding them down on the vise. That's letting me get the microscope just a touch closer. There we go. Holy hell. It's going, Sparkly. It's going. Almost done with these motors. And we will be raiding into Ty, forcing her timer to go up. So I just struggle bust with my microscope for no apparent reason other than it didn't like me. Alright, I'm going to have a solder or a heat bridge. A small dab of solder. Drop that in. There we go. Holy hell. That glob. Pick that up and shovel that into my eye, or my, there we go. Ah! Yet one more reason to wear gloves when soldering. So I just had this little glob of solder fly off and hit me on the thumb. That had hit my bare skin, I would have a small burn. But the glove protected me. So, wear your gloves when you're soldering. Alright, so that's done. Spread my copper mesh out just a little bit. Let's see if I can get these done before Ty has less than an hour on her raid. I think I can do it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I can do it. 11 minutes, 3 motors. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. As long as none of them are a complete pain. Come on, I can see that I broke the solder loose. Just need to get a good enough grip and yoink it out. Maybe. Come on. There we go. That's one terminal clean and clear. Flip it over. Yeah. How are you doing tonight? Is anybody doing anything interesting? I know. I'm asking you to tab back to Twitch to type. Yeah. What's everybody up to tonight? After this, I will likely be watching Ty stream. Well, probably making a little something to eat. I don't know what just yet. I might masquerade some strawberries. For those who don't know, masquerading, interesting, nope. That's fair. I mean, it is Thursday night. Right. Ooh. You can see the potting compound they used on this side was red. I clean that up at all? Doesn't look like it. Also out of focus. Wrong way. There we go. pretending to be strawberries. No, not masquerading. Masquerading. Basically, you dump a crap ton of sugar over cut up strawberries. And what that does is it draws out all of the natural juice in the strawberries and makes a very delectable little dessert. I lost one of my wires again. There it is. It fell on the floor. Used for a handful of recipes, but for me, it's just a nice little snack. It's also really good with whipped cream. Oh, something is jank with this one. Oh, no. Something might be jank with this one. I'm not sure. This one may have had a hard life prior to being reclaimed. But it's working. So, whatever. Add that to the pile. I have so many of these damn little motors. They're so cheap, and they work so well. Trying to make yogurt, but I got lazy and didn't heat the milk. I've never tried to make yogurt before. And I don't have a good reason why not. Look at this giant solder, like, blob. That is wild to me. Like, that is such a lack of flux. I don't even know what to say about it. This song reminds me of my childhood. Sitting in the van, my dad driving, on our way to Grandma's. And me tip. Honestly, there's so much solder here, I'm not even going to bother with the bridge. By the time I get that little blob melted, it's all going to flow. Now, did I get enough of that solder blob down to where this will just pop off? Oops, I just bumped all of you. My apologies. Nope. Okay. Can I get this wire? This is another one where they freaking stuck the wire. When they soldered it down, got melted into the plastic. Absolute insanity. Alright. This one's going to fight me every step of the way. Pinch some of the wires. Try and pull some of them out. Might have to get my duckbills. My duckbill tweezers. So, how do you make yogurt? I actually have no idea. Is it similar to making cheese? Oh my god, what the hell is with these little wires? They're like wrapped around the post. I'm having to yank them off one at a time. Yeah, like that's not even attached to anything. It's just wrapped around. You're not able to get a good grip on it. When you're doing this, are you looking at the motor or are you looking at the video like a doctor doing remote surgery? I am looking at the motor. So y'all are actually getting a better view than I am. You're not attached to anything, you stupid little... Yeah, y'all actually are having a better view than what I have, because I am looking directly at the motor. Now, my face is about 8 inches away from the motor, so I am pretty up on it. I might just say fuck this motor because this terminal is crapped out and I can't get this one wire out of the plastic. And I feel like I'm going to bumblefuck it. Now, there have been times where I've done it the other way around, but right now I have Fusion 360 up on my, yeah, fuck this motor, it's toast. And remember, I only fought with one side. This motor, I'm not even going to bother with. Could it work? Maybe. Probably. But honestly, that's just... yeah. Whoever they had solder on the leads didn't know what the fuck flux was. And just kind of like kept pouring solder and heat onto it. So, fuck this motor. I will salvage the gearbox. Oh, sorry. Salvage the gearbox off of it. And transplant it over to a different motor. But honestly, the first time I ordered these... oh, one moment. Sorry, wife needed to say something to me. Baba solder. But yeah, the first time I ordered these motors, I got 10 of them, and only 2 of them were crap. I've ordered like 20 more of these motors, 30 more. I don't even remember now. I need a heat bridge. There we go. And only having one bad motor, I can't complain. I mean, these motors were already insanely cheap for what they are. Brand new, these motors are... I just cut my glove. Go figure. Gotta swap my gloves out now. Toss those in there. I don't know. Do I need to swap my gloves? Probably not. Do I need to even be wearing gloves when I solder? No. Probably not. But I'm old. And I've already developed a sensitivity isopropyl. So might as well. Okay, so those little ear cleaning cameras you see advertised on Amazon, etc. Less of a gimmick than you expected. Really, cynic. Why is that? Oh, and if you ever have to swap gloves, a little bit of talcum powder. A little bit of talcum powder and you'll be able to slide on the new pair of gloves without having to fight with them forever and a day. You'll still have to struggle a little. I'm assuming it's a like a borescope. That's one glove. But yeah, years of playing with flux and isopropyl, soldering and other such, I have developed sensitivity to those. So it causes my skin to go extra dry. And I forget what it, there is a term for it, but it's like a chemical reaction. Not chemical reaction, a chemical sensitivity eczema. All right, so let's try this again. Clean this. Spread this out just a touch. Once this motor is done. How are we on the printer? Yeah, the printer still got hours left. Flux. Yeah, with the little silicone thing on the end for cleaning earwax. Really? Huh. Alright. And this song. This song transports me back to 2005. Sitting outside my dorm in the common area, having a cigarette and a beer with, I don't know, about a dozen other people. Just bullshitting after work. Fucking good times. Come on. Oh, I'm not getting good heat transfer. I'll dab of solder to act as a heat bridge. Come on. What? In here before the plastic melts. Here we go. Holy shit. Not sure what was happening there. Yeah, flush your ears with warm water pretty regular, but camera showed that your earwax was still pretty waxy. Really? I mean, cool, but Brody. When was the last time I had my ears cleaned? So again, being aircraft maintenance, I had foamies and I had over-ear earmuffs. And you had to wear both. I mean, hell, jet engines are kind of loud. And when you work on jet engines like, or the size of jet engines I did, and I don't mean high bypass jet engines, I mean like large jet engines. They tend to rumble your tummy and your skull. So I used to have to go and do annual ear exams, hearing the whole nine, because you got the foamies, and if you're not careful, you're just ramming everything deeper into your ear with those. All right. Get the solder off of this joint. One. Oh, there's still shielding on this one. Oh my god, what an ass. Whoever did this one, I swear. Like, or no, is that shielding or is that conformal coating? No, it's potting compound. That's potting compound. All right, this is going to be a right pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some solder on my iron, come in here, try and get everything liquidy, and just start yoinking. Maybe, hopefully, get this yoinked out before we damage the terminal. I'm also kind of fed up with this project. Or all of this, there we go. Got it. Yeah, I have drops that are supposed to break, or help break up the wax. Not as effective as they're supposed to be, apparently. Lovely. I read that ears are supposed to be slightly acidic, so the ear drops I use after swimming are 50-50 rubbing alcohol vinegar. Really? I'd never heard that before. Then again, it wouldn't be the only human orifice to be slightly acidic. Alright, there is potting compound. I don't know how well... No, it doesn't. Alright, it's not showing up very well at all. Let me try cleaning. I'm going to try and show what potting compound is for anybody who doesn't know. Where'd my isopropyl go? There it is. Even real project. This is part of your collection. Yeah, but this is going to be used for other projects. Because what I can do is print out like 5 more of these, or of the Alzheimer's is a hell of a drug. Dementia, one of those two. Linear actuators. I can print out like 2 or 3 more linear actuators and just slap motors into them as they come. All right, there we go. It's at least cleaned up. But you can see this white crap here. That's potting compound. And it goes from everything from like a rubbery to a very hard epoxy plastic. Oh yeah, isopropyl cleans up flux like it's nobody's business. I mean, flux can be diluted down with isopropyl, so it is still a bit gunky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do that whole process one more time. Small dab of flux. Grab my iron, make sure my tip is clean. Nice and shiny. Rubby, rubby, rub. Pull away. Isopropyl. Whoops. I splooged it. Not mean to splooge the isopropyl. Clean it up one more time. And there we go. We got all the potting compound off. Ooh. What a fun project. But that's all of my motors. Holy hell. Finally. Printer is about halfway done. That will have to be another stream. And we are going to raid into the lovely Thai. Just shy of 12 hours. We're going to use a different raid message this time. I think we're going to go with... Oh, typing it out. Hey, Joe. Welcome in. Great timing. This will be our raid message for the day. Happy birthday. Raise the timer. So be sure to copy and paste that. Oop. All right. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. I will be probably doing more printing stuff Saturday. Tomorrow is Factorio Friday, so I'll be playing that. Y'all have a good night. Really, thanks for just hanging out.